All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the COE 1v1 Tournament 2022. If you are not already gathered around the stage, you may want to for this next matchup. It's going to be our first semi-finals match between Reedkatt and Malteser. I am Dio, the ghost voice on stream, standing on stage right now with Woey, who's going to be my co-caster for this one. I'd like you all to welcome our two players for this matchup. It's Reedkatt and Malteser facing off in our first semifinals match. All right. So I just want to get a couple of player thoughts before we get into it. Reedkatt, you're number one seed out of qualifiers, now up in the semifinals. How are you feeling for this match in particular?
Not very confident.
Not very confident? Okay, why do you not feel confident about this match?
I haven't really practiced the pool.
Well, pool practice aside, you've still won both of your matches pretty convincingly, so I want to wish you good luck here. Let's get some thoughts from Malteser also before we start off.
Yeah, Malt, going against the number one seed in the tournament, someone who's only dropped 1 point across their first two matches. Are you thinking about that at all, or are you just trying to go with your own game, trying to do the best that you can for yourself?
I'm going to go with my own game. I have a plan, and hopefully it works. Maybe I'll win, maybe I'll lose. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a secret plan. I've told some people, so it's not that secret.
Well, cheers to that. We'll see how it goes.
And I think with that, we're ready for rolls for both players. You can both grab your dice and get our D100s rolling. That is 97 for Reedkatt and 86 for Malteser. Reedkatt winning the roll by a very slim margin, two very high rolls for them. And we'll go ahead and get started. Both players already in the lobby, ready to go. I think this should be a pretty interesting matchup between these two players. We've got a pretty solid all-rounder player in Reedkatt, somebody who is well known for being very strong in 1v1s in general, somebody who over the last couple of years has developed his skill set from a hard rock specialist into something more of your traditional 1v1 carry or 4v4 carry performer as well.
Yeah, and you can say the same for Malteser because just swap out hard rock for DT. Malteser used to be this kind of person who could, go into 4v4s and really boost a team's DT performance. And now he is much, much more than that. You can't get to this point in the tournament if you are good at a single thing. So he's got that going for him as well.
Yeah, Malteser has been winning a lot of different points in both hard rock and double time during this tournament. I think it's a bit of a tough matchup for him specifically because of that hard rock, right? Malteser as a hard rock player is maybe at a bit of a disadvantage against somebody like Reedkatt, who specializes in that hard rock in particular. We'll see exactly how those hard rocks shake up, because I think depending on who wins and who loses those, it could determine the outcome of this match. We saw Reedkatt in his previous matchup against Blue only pick into the speed maps, not even pick his protected picks. He left both of the hard rocks open and won entirely without them. So almost the flex there, not even needing the hard rocks in order to win. Against somebody like Malteser, though, I think we'll probably end up seeing some of those hard rocks at some point. Malteser definitely with a speed advantage, and so picking speed for Reedkatt definitely not advised in this sort of matchup.
Yeah, I do really like the protect system for that reason. It just gives these players one more thing to think about, one more sort of plan to go through that they don't even necessarily need to commit to if they don't want to.
We're going to have... I think I'm interested to see how some of the reading maps go. Whether we see any hiddens at all get picked up. We saw Reedkatt get 550k on hidden 1 in his matchup against Blue to actually close it out, and that was a massive score from Reedkatt. I think a lot higher than other people expected. Blue is shouting at me in the background right now, calling me out for talking about his match. But, I mean, it was well played by Reedkatt, right? There's a reason he's only dropped 1 point so far. You don't do that against, you don't do that in a tournament like this unless you are good enough to put up massive scores on every type of map.
Yeah, I keep on, just in the matches that I've casted, I've been looking forward to these maps where these more risky picks, rather, where you don't really want to pick into something where you have to outperform your opponent, but you just kind of have to troll a little less than them. And those are some of the most interesting ones of tournament matches, in my opinion.
Yeah, we might see a bit of that on the hiddens in this matchup, I think. Might see a little bit of that on stuff like the No Mod 4 and No Mod 3. Malteser has actually picked the No Mod 4 before as well, so we may potentially see that once again for him. In the meantime, I think waiting on both of these players to finish up with their protects and then get into the first bans for both of them. I think some pretty obvious protects for both of these players. I think Reedkatt probably wants to protect something like the Hard Rock 2, and I actually don't know what his other protect might be. Malteser in particular, pretty solid on the Hard Rock 3. We've seen him first pick that already. Potentially Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2 for Reedkatt would be solid protects for him.
Do you think he might want to try protecting some of the alt maps? I mean, I'm not entirely familiar with how Malteser is on alt maps, but they're so hard, especially like DT4 and No Mod 3, just some of those maps on the weirder side where he might be able to gain some ground.
It's definitely possible for Reedkatt to protect one of those alt maps, but Malteser, very, very good at speed aim. Right? A DT main, somebody who's extremely strong on DT1, and because of that, somebody who's extremely strong on this No Mod 3 in particular. Right? Super snappy No Mod 3 that's really, really solid on some of some of the speed players actually have a really good time on that map just because it is more akin to high BPM jumps than it is to your traditional alt maps. So for Malteser, I think it's a particularly good alt pick.
Okay.
And we might end up seeing that be one of those other toss-up maps later on into the match, whereas Reedkatt's usually actually very good on it, tends to pick into it quite a bit.
Into the bans now, it is Reedkatt who bans the Hidden 2. That's
pretty obvious.
Those are scary maps for both of these players possibly, but I understand it. And the No Mod 1 ban from Malteser. Kind of an uncomfortable map we've seen across this tournament, especially on the laser client with some of the slider velocities, so I can see being scared of that map for anyone, honestly.
Yeah, Malteser in particular has not had a good time with that No Mod 1, has lost on it before, probably does not want to go against Reedkatt on that type of map. I think Reedkatt definitely has the advantage on aim consistency, especially lower BPM stuff. 210 BPM qualifies as lower BPM for somebody like Malteser. So definitely the Hard Rock 1, a solid pick for Reedkatt later on into this match as well. Hard Rock 2, however, his first pick. We saw this in the last matchup, the half-slashed CS 6.76 aim control precision map.
You called it on that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this being picked early.
Yeah, no beating around the bush this time for Reedkatt, going right into the Hard Rocks, right into the power picks, not wanting at all to try and pull one over on Malteser with some of these other maps, just going straight for his strength. But having a little bit of trouble adjusting at the start, it looks like, not able to get consistent combo together. Malteser with a little bit of a higher combo right out of the gate.
Accuracy difference not obviously swaying one way or the other. I mean, this is a very hard map to act for anyone. We've seen it in previous matches. Getting 95, 96 by the end of the map is an immense accomplishment for these players. I mean, Malteser with a slight ACK advantage, but where it will be at the end, you can't really say. And actually gaining a decent score lead about a quarter into this map.
Yeah, that extra combo during the first part of this map before we get to that KI time, really doing a lot of work for Malteser right now. He even has higher combo at the moment as well. And this is the trouble with picking aim control into Malteser. He's actually a very good aim control player. It's where a lot of his breakpoints against other opponents come from, who assume that he has the classic speed player aim debuff. Not really the case for this player. Somebody who is very, very strong on Hard Rock and can put up solid scores here.
I had heard previously of how Malt was improving skill sets outside of DT. I didn't think it was this good, though, even myself. But that being said, the differential is being closed between these two players right now, mainly on the combo that Reedkatt currently has. And there it goes.
Oh. That's such a sad miss for Reedkatt. Could have pulled it back with that extra combo, but not able to get the advantage there before finding the miss.
He's kept this from being a runaway, though.
Yeah. Still half of the map to go. Not too concerning, the current score lead for Malteser. But Reedkatt definitely on the back foot out of the first half is not what you would usually expect going into a pick like this. Reedkatt, traditionally one of the best hard rock players in any tournament, especially on precision maps.
And he did mention before the match started he didn't have 100% confidence, and I don't know how much that's playing into this particular map, but you would think at least a little bit, because I did think this was absolutely a pocket pick for him. And he hasn't closed the gap yet. It's very close, but I would have thought this was much more swaying in his direction.
His combo right now is actually ridiculous. Seeing some of the patterns here get hit is very, very surprising for my side. Some of these are so impossible to try and even watch, let alone and read properly, let alone actually hit them. So very, very impressive from both of these players to be able to combo a lot of this. He's closed the gap down for Reedkatt down to around 12,000 score right now. There's still a quarter of the map left, and he does still have time to close the lead. He's going to need a little bit of extra combo, though. It's in Malteser's favor going into the ending.
Every time I look over at the combo, Reedkatt absolutely has more, except for at this exact moment. So that would speak to the fact that he's really trying to work it back. But we are at the end of the map now. There's not a lot of time, but it could happen. 10K, 12K, that's nothing.
Just waiting on a miss from Malteser at this point. If we do see a miss, no, it comes out from Reedkatt, and that is going to seal it up. Malteser actually going to take a first pick breakpoint on that precision map in Hard Rock. See a 6.76, very, very solid performance from him. Well over the, just barely over the 400K mark. Extremely solid map for him, and a first pick breakpoint for Malteser.
That is the exact start he needed. Best case scenario for Malteser.
Yeah, and a really rough start, unfortunately, for Reedkatt. He was talking about he hadn't gotten enough practice in on the map pool as he might have liked, and unfortunately we might be seeing the result of that on a map like that, the precision map, especially with so many tricky patterns thrown in throughout that. It's not a normal aim map. It's not something with awkward linear aim as well. It's a very, very tricky sort of map, and practice is key on maps like that, and making sure that you are consistent on those sorts of picks.
Yeah, you might think that 2 matches on this stage would be a lot of practice, but you may not get through every map, and you might practice some of your more strong picks, and something like that might just go completely under the radar.
Yeah. As for Malteser, speaking of strong picks, Nomad 5, his first pick, 260 BPM speed, a lot of streams and bursts, consecutive bursts in this map as well. Very, very difficult to keep up with this map. This map has barely any breaks in it. It just keeps going. It's almost 4 minutes long as well, so the overall stamina drain in a map like this is crushing for a lot of players.
Reedkatt's certainly not a slowpoke, but this is a very strong pick for Malteser. On paper, at least. We thought the other one was a strong pick as well, so who really does know at this point? So many variables that these players may not be used to.
Yeah, we've seen Reedkatt win this map multiple times already as well. I think this is the first real test of speed that he's been given from any player, though, in Malteser. As Malteser, very clearly an extremely strong speed player, has picked into this map quite a few times throughout the tournament. And you can see already is having a pretty good time of the intro here. A little bit better combo than Reedkatt out of the gate. Fewer combo breaks and better accuracy to boot for Malteser, looking very, very strong on the start of this one.
Both players have enough combo right now where the first person that breaks will really sway the tides of the rest of this map. And I'm a little scared for Reedkatt being the first, and there it goes. I was seeing hundreds and 50s at the end of some of these bursts, and eventually it just came to a head.
Yeah, this is, unfortunately for Reedkatt, the expected result right now. Malteser just plowing through the rest of this. Does finally find the break there on that stream, but it doesn't matter too much. 70,000 score up for him and climbing with other breaks coming through from Reedkatt.
He's made about a 75,000 point lead for himself, and the way it's looking, I don't anticipate that going down. More combo, more ac, so on and so forth. Yeah,
both players going to see their score here in the break. See a little cheer from Malteser. knowing he's clutched it out during the first half at least, but there is still 2 minutes left of this map. Still quite a lot of time for either player to get some combo together, for Reedkatt to make a comeback here, especially with pretty even combo going into the back half of it. About 100 combo lead for Malteser, which could go away at any point. If we see a miss from him, if we see Reedkatt get that combo back together, then we could certainly see the turnaround. Oh. That misses rough.
Yeah. As you were saying about it, the opportunity just came and went. Maltese are doing very well to prove us right at the speed advantage.
Yeah, very well-deserved second point from Malteser. He is crushing this map right now. Still near 98% accuracy for him as well, in the high 97s. Not really having any issue with this section either. Being given a little bit of a speed challenge there, finding a couple hundreds here and there, but no combo breaks to speak of. Just looking so good here now on the map, and he should be able to get well above 600k on this map by the end of it. If he keeps the combo up, he could be looking at 700k plus as well.
He might get into the 4-digit combos before this run is out. An accomplishment on any map in this pool. And there it goes, 4-digit combo running into the end of this map. And there...
And there's the break at the end, but Malteser once again, 720,000 almost for a 2-0 start over Reedkatt.
You mentioned the smiling at the break. I think that really goes a long way toward how his mental is in this match right now.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Reedkatt finds his confidence later on into this match. It does help a lot, believing that you can win, knowing that you have what it takes to win these maps, and going into it thinking that you are going to come out on top no matter what the map is. You know, in any competitive event, if you don't think you can win, you never will, right? You need to know that you can win, or that you have a chance at winning at the very least. So finding that confidence, making sure that you do, as corny as it sounds, believing in yourself actually works a lot of times.
There's something to said about the purpose of ego in OSU tournaments. You need a fair bit of knowing how good you are in order to actually capitalize on what you can do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of capitalizing on your own strengths, another pretty strong pick for Reedkatt coming out right now. I believe this is Nomad 4. That's not Nomad 4. That's also not Nomad 4. But we'll get it on screen shortly. This map, there we go. There's Nomad 4. This is the tech map in Nomad, really focusing on lots of cut streams, accel, decel streams, and mixtures of those types of streams all throughout the map, going into slider patterns, using a little finger control as well. Lots of consecutive quads in the back half of this map, in addition to some of those really highly spaced doubles that you just saw on screen.
Yeah, this is absolutely... I mean, there's a bunch of different kinds of tech that comes up in tournaments. It kind of just fits whatever the pool needs, and in this case it is a much more of a streamy map, which I can see why Reedkatt picked this 100%. He's really running away with the score lead here.
Yeah, this beginning is nuts from Reedkatt. This beginning is not easy. He is just destroying this map. 99.5 accuracy, still on the full combo, a quarter of the way through, is far and away better than most other players are able to put up on this map. This is probably the best play we've seen on the map so far. Yeah, I am shocked he is able to do this well on this map. This is such a good score from Reedkatt, and is going to boost the confidence a lot after this. Finally finds a couple of misses.
Out.
There is some combo coming through from Malteser as well right now, but he finds the miss.
These streams go any which direction but straight. They go just everywhere. But Reed's still holding mid 98%. Insane accuracy for this map.
Yeah, this is not a bad score from Malteser either. Almost 300k halfway through is a pretty solid scoreline for him, but Reedkatt is just miles ahead of him on this map right now. Almost 100k up and much better accuracy, like you said. we'll see if he can keep that lead going into the ending here. There's another reset to come through from Malteser, and hopefully as we get a little bit of a style change here near the end of the map, it doesn't affect the score lead too much for Reedkatt. Really want to see the higher seeded player looking strong, looking confident going into the rest of the match.
I do think this second drop is a little easier than the first half of the map. So if Malt had held some combo from that middle into the end, he might have had a window, but it was very much instantly shut. And Reedkatt himself is sort of gaming the second half as well. May have a very small miscount by the time this play is done. Still going, by the way.
How is he still hitting this? How is he still hitting these streams? Oh, he finally finds one miss! One miss during this entire second half. Reedkatt just demolishing this pick. Over 500k on the map, over 100k up on Malteser as well. Very, very solid pick for him.
And with this pick, he will get on the board. He needed this.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had lost, losing one pick you can get away with. Losing two and going down 3-0, that is a serious problem. So he needed this.
Yeah, very solid second pick from Reedkatt to bring himself into the match, put himself onto the board, and hopefully restore some confidence. He's an incredible player, has been playing so well throughout the tournament, so really would be amazing to see him try and stage a comeback here, make this match extremely close between these two players, because we know they both have what it takes to make it into the finals right now. Both of them doing very, very well on a wide variety of picks. And speaking of wide variety of picks, Nomad 6! Nomad 6 from Malteser. Malteser low approach rate is not what you usually expect to see, but I know Malteser has been putting in the work to practice this pick and make sure that he is prepared for it in this match. And I believe that is the plan
the
he was
secret
talking
plan,
about.
I would think so as well. This is one of the picks that I've been waiting to see. One of these where maybe just doing a little less not bad than your opponent is what you need to do.
As long as you're not worst in the room, you will still be able to get the point in the end.
Pardon my
that's
triple
the plan.
negatives.
Yeah, exactly. Currently waiting on a couple of tech issues, it looks like, for either of the players, but we should be able to get in. All right, perfect. We're into the map. We're into Nomad 6. And in case you haven't tuned in before and you're just watching for the first time, it should be pretty apparent what this map does. Lots of really, really difficult to read overlaps in this map. And at approach rate 6, if you have not looked at this map in the editor, if you have not put in a lot of practice on it, you are not going to be able to deal with these overlaps very easily. Malteser very clearly having put in the practice on this one. Look at that 93 accuracy or so for him. Looking pretty good on this map, all things considered.
I'm thinking if Hidden 2 was not banned, Malt would have absolutely been willing to pick it, judging by how this performance is already going at face value. But that being said, the score lead is not huge yet, despite the crazy act difference right now. The lead's only 30k-ish.
Yeah, Malteser not really able to get a big combo together at any point during this map yet, but I think we'll start to see the score widen once we get to those trademark triangle jump spam sections. Coming up on one right now. This is by far the hardest part of the map. The overlaps during these parts are so tricky, so ridiculously difficult to get right, that so many players have just completely note-locked, even stopped playing, left their desk, come over to the casting couch, and just hung out with us.
I love that. Yeah, this is absolutely, as you mentioned, the part of the map where if there is a gap in skill between where these players are with low AR, it shows through in this section. And to prove the point, Malteser has gained his lead, grown it in this section.
And this is a very recent adaptation from Malteser, I might add. In his previous matchup in the quarterfinals against Badu, he was the player that stopped playing, came over onto the couch, and hung out with us because he was just completely outclassed on this map. But here, he's put in the practice, he's got the extra score, he's got the extra combo, and he's able to beat Reedkatt and take a point on a map which previously he would have never had a chance in his other matchups. So that adaptation paying off for Malteser right now for a 3-1 score lead.
To be fair, though, against Badu, I think I would have even done the same.
Yeah, not too much you can do against Badu getting 800k plus on the map, but for Malteser, getting 400k plus is enough in this matchup, and he's able to take the point. He still has that early break point as well, so that 3-1 lead looking good for him at the moment.
Yes.
And into Reedkatt's next pick, probably looking at another similar stream aim sort of pick, given how well that Nomad 4
Yeah,
went.
if he can find the maps in there that he can really capitalize on, I would agree with that as well.
Definitely a couple of those stream aim picks left. And I believe that is Wind God Girl playing in the background.
It absolutely is.
Nomad 2. Woey, take us through it. What are we expecting in this map?
Well, I was talking about this map with a few friends of mine between yesterday and today, and it's always interesting when old mappers start mapping again in modern times and how their mapping styles sort of modernize. And I compared some of the streams in this map to Jenny's OG Cry Thunder. The way some of them just, the ends of the streams almost turn into triangles, like really nasty direction changes at the end of them. And that's what really separates this map apart from what would be a normal stream map. It's still pretty normal, but that I think is the defining factor of it.
One other thing I want to point out about this map is those reverse slider streams. Those are so difficult. We've seen so many players break on those all over the place. So looking at those as key moments for players to find breaks, looking at the ends of longer streams as key moments for players to find those breaks, and looking as well at sometimes there's a stream that ends on a single tap with a
I was going to
slider
bring those
underneath.
up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you lose your focus on those for a moment and just think maybe it's one more extra note at the end of a stream, you might get caught out of it and might just lose your combo for it. And that being said, Malteser did break just a moment ago, and Reedkatt is running away with a bit of a combo here.
Yeah, looking very good so far. Reedkatt has picked this more than once before, has already won this point a few times against other players, so no surprise that he wants to pick this again against Malteser here, going for his power picks in this matchup for sure, really picking the maps that he knows he can win on.
99.7, by the way, for Reedkatt. I mean, Malteser at 99.3 as well. These are two very good players at this kind of map. But like 99.7, give me a break. Well, actually, don't give me a break, please. That would break my heart.
This map is a lot closer than it looks given the score though right now. The combo for Malteser is also massive, so if we see an unanswered break from Reedkatt, Malteser has the chance to bring this back very, very quickly. About 100,000 score lead for Reedkatt, all said and done. But with still half of the map left, anything could happen with how high these combos are right now. Such a volatile game state to be in for both of these players. But right now, Reedkatt does have that advantage, and as long as he can keep up his combo alongside Malteser, he just needs to match that combo that's coming out of Malteser, and he will end up winning the map.
So many of the songs in this match so far, the loser has set a good enough score to beat a lot of the other people in this tournament, but that's not good enough anymore. We're in the semifinals. You have to really excel here. And in the case of Malteser, has to really hope that something goes wrong. But nothing is.
Nobody giving an inch right now. Both of these players putting up massive scores at the moment. I mean, just huge from both of them. I believe this is still the FC from Reedkatt. It's a reverse choke, over 1,000 combo from Malteser. Either of them could easily win this map against a wide swath of other players. This map is so ridiculous. These long streams are still 200 BPM, by the way. You need to have the stamina for these streams in order to even focus on the flame at all, focus on the finger control at all. So, massive break there from Reedkatt. Malteser now has 1,200 combo. The ability to bring this back is his. Is there enough time? There's still a lot of streams here at the end. It's combo dense at the end, but not enough time. Reedkatt able to take it. 850K by the end, almost 900K for Malteser, 900K plus for Reedkatt. Absolutely huge scores from both of these players.
Malteser saying he missed on a jump. A classic Nomad 2 moment.
What are you going to do? Just one jump there is the difference between winning and losing on a map like that. It is so volatile how easy it is for one of these players to win versus the other on maps like that. It's such a close pick for both of them, but Reedkatt able to get that point, keep it close here. 3-2 currently the scoreline. Still in favor of Malteser, and I think this map also very, very solid for Malteser. 285 BPM, the double time 3 pick here.
This is this is the kind of thing that Malt lives for. Even if he's become so much more of an all-rounder, he still loves his DT2s, his DT3s. He's going to be breathing easy for this one, I think. Let me just say for Nomad 2, by the way, I saw Reedkatt practicing this map yesterday before his first match on stage, and he got 850K in that moment, which is still really good, but if he had done that just now, it wouldn't have been enough. So crazy performances once again.
And that's one thing that often separates a lot of really good tournament players from a lot of either average or just good tournament players is the ability to perform under pressure, the ability to get those high scores where it really counts and put up the massive scores that they need to actually win in the moment rather than just do what they can in practice as well. This one, though, of course, we haven't talked a lot about it. Very simple patterning in this map, AR 10.3, so it is high approach rate. Something that Malteser is going to be very well versed in, something that Reedkatt isn't going to find too much of an issue either. Not a bad high approach rate player by any means. But the main draw of this map is 285 BPM triples, quints, and longer streams in this map as well.
Both players holding a bit of combo through this first chorus. The score lead is pretty negligible at this point. It's kind of like the Nomad 2, who's going to slip first. I mean, slight combo advantage to Malteser, but if you look at that score lead, it's barely moving one way or the other to show for it.
Not going to be enough for Reedkatt. A very good score, by the way, but finds a miss right in the middle, right at the end of that longer burst. Malteser celebrating with the crowd, actually misses right afterwards, and this suddenly puts Reedkatt back into the conversation for being able to win the map. He does find a miss right afterwards, but Malteser able to hold on a little extra combo and keep the score lead together for himself.
Maybe don't breathe that easy. Even through that, though, Malteser had 99, still firmly in the 97s. Very good for this map, and several percent better than Reedkatt. That's going to put in some work for him regardless. And I think even if Malteser missed now, there is not enough time in the map. This is going to be a Malteser on match point, I do believe.
That is match point. 4-2 for Malteser. The lower seeded player once again forcing match point early.
S rank, by the way.
I'm sorry?
For Malteser, S rank.
S rank for Malteser as well, yes. Although S ranks in Laser are a little bit different from S ranks in Bancho right now. You can miss and still get S ranks in Laser, so I don't believe it's a zero miss play, but it's still a very impressive play from Malteser being able to get, over 700K, still the S rank in Laser.
That's the first I've heard, frankly, so hopefully if it's the first I've heard, it's the first time someone else has.
Reedkatt back against the wall right now. His tournament life isn't over if he loses here. He will still have the third place deciding match, but his chance at the finals depends on this match. If he loses here, he is guaranteed only top 4 rather than top 2. A win here guarantees a spot in the finals and guarantees you at least second place in the tournament. So this next pick for Reedkatt gonna have to count, and it is that Hard Rock 1, excuse me. Awkward aim, Hard Rock 1, lots of polygonal jumps, lots of rectangular, triangle, square jumps in this map all over the place, and a lot of what I like to call directional triples.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Even if Malteser is still very, very good at this sort of map, Reedkatt absolutely picking into the strongest skill set alone that he has left, in my opinion.
Yeah, hard rock aim consistency, something that Reedkatt is absolutely favored on in paper. I think a very good pick, a very safe pick, and something that he should be able to win pretty solidly against Malteser. Despite that flub on Hard Rock 2 earlier in the match, not deterred in picking his favorite mod, but does find a miss there, and that does give a bit of a combo lead over to Malteser, who now gets the score lead together as well. Reedkatt finding another miss here, and this is not the great start that he was looking for on this kind of map. It's a very long pick. He does still have a lot of map left to be able to stage a comeback, but the start of the map definitely going Malteser's way.
Reed does have the ACK advantage, though. Malteser just getting barely back into the 90s now, kind of hovering around there. So Reed does have the ACK going for him, but that score lead is really running away. It may not be enough on its own if he doesn't take advantage of combo at one point or the next. Resets aren't going to be enough if it's coming from both of them.
Yeah, the ACK matters so much less than it usually does on Score V2 right now. So Reedkatt not having as good of a time as he usually would on a pick like this right now. But he does have the combo speaking for him at the moment, does have about 100 combo lead, and you can see the score lead at the top of the screen slowly shrinking back towards Reedkatt's favor. We'll see if he's able to hold on to the combo long enough to establish a score lead of his own.
So now even if he misses, Malteser will not double up on that. The score lead is just now swaying back into Reedkatt's favor, and as long as he holds, he's only going to be doing good for himself because Malt's down at 0.
Very recent reset from Malteser as well, so even if Reedkatt misses right now, there's not a big combo lead for Malteser. It's about a 30,000 score lead for Reedkatt as well, so he's not in danger at the moment of losing this score lead, but he has to be able to hold on and match the combos coming out of Malteser to be able to win this pick. Still half the map left, very close game state, only about a 30,000 score lead, could swing either way in the back half of this map.
And another break from Malteser. If there's any point where accuracy matters, I think it's when both players don't have combo and they're really trying to build it up again. And it is Reed up in the 96s compared to Malteser in the 92s. As long as there is not a lot of combo, that matters.
A little bit of finger control and aim section here, a little bit of reading for these players on the Hard Rock 1. Neither of them getting tripped up by that, but both of them missing on the streams right afterwards. So another double reset for these players, keeping the score lead as it is. Still about a 30,000 score lead in Reedkatt's favor, ever so slightly growing to about 33K or so. But still looking very good for Reedkatt. A quarter of the map left. Still could go either way, but it's going to take comboing the rest really for Malteser to be able to come out on top in this map. And Reedkatt is able to match him so far.
That is not helping. I think that might be the nail in the coffin for Malteser. Really going to need to hope and pray right now for any chance in this map.
But that's a miss from Malteser, and that is going to be the end of this map. Reedkatt can extend the score lead a little bit at the end of the map as well, holding on to combo through the last KI time. Still holding on to a little bit of combo here and looking much, much better than at the start. Pulling off the comeback after a rough start to this map and forcing the last pick out of Malteser 4-3. This last pick from Malteser, by the way, I think is really interesting to talk about because the double time 2, it's not necessarily as good of a pick for Malteser as you might think at first glance. Reedkatt very, very good at 220, 225 BPM streams.
Yeah, I've seen at least Malteser practicing this map on the desk over there. I know he is good at it, but I have also seen Reedkatt on match playing pretty well, so we will see. I'm a little surprised that neither player dipped into ult, because I think that might be a little more, with this map you know what you're going to get. So, but we will see.
You know, despite the fact that Reedkatt is very good at these types of streams, 225 BPM or so, it's still bread and butter for Malteser. This is his skill set. This is where he shines the strongest, and he's picking into his strengths. It's worked for him so far, and he's betting on it to the end of the match as well.
An early slider break from him, though, I believe. Not the hottest start. Reedkatt is going to build up a small lead from the start of this map. And the accuracy advantage doesn't really sway one way or the other either, for what that is worth.
Oh, that slider break from Reedkatt is not what you want to see. Malteser with big combo going into the first KI time, and this is the easy part of the map. This is the map that gets harder and harder as it goes on. As you get into the second KI time, into the last quarter of the map, this map just gets harder and harder, continues to throw longer and longer streams at the players and more difficult slider streams as well throughout. So that early break for Reedkatt not going to be helping him at all. He's going to need to combo through some of the hardest parts of this map to really make a comeback on this one.
If there is one point where the difference in this BPM comfort will show through, it is through those slider streams, because they require you to be so much more precise to hold up on them. And that's where Malteser is solely made up the difference in this lead. And now the burst lengths really start to get longer. There's no breaks in this entire map, but some real spaced ones here. And this pick looking better and better for him as it goes.
Reedkatt just has to pray for a break from Malteser right now. Pray for him to break on one of the jumps and accidentally miss somewhere, because otherwise he's going to have to combo the very end of the map, which is going to be so difficult for him. We saw a lot of act drops from Reedkatt during that middle KI time. So if he's able to combo the ending, I have to commend him for that. But Malteser just looking so comfortable, so strong. Ack actually getting up for Malteser right now into the lower 98s and continuing to rise for him.
Here comes the hardest stream in the map, though. If there's any difference to be made up, Malt needs to miss it and Reed needs to hit it.
But that's not going to be it. Reedkatt is going to find the misses.
And it's the other way around. Oh, and he just misses at the end.
But I think that already seals it up. 250,000 score in the lead for Malteser right now. He has pulled off a ridiculous feat on this map. Well over 900K by the end for sure on this map. And that is going to be another upset in this tournament. The #1 seed, Reedkatt, taken down by Malteser.
And we can just jam to the rest of this song now. It is all over but the crying.
That is a very solid win for Malteser, celebrating with the Brazilian flag over on the left-hand side of the screen. Very good players, both of them. A very hard-fought match from both. Reedkatt not out of the tournament yet, still has a third-place decider match after this, but that is going to be the end of this match. Malteser moves on to the winners finals. He is guaranteed top 2, and he will be going up against the winner of our next match. That next matchup is Okinamo versus Catburger. That is going to be happening shortly. We're going to get those players ready to go, but in the meantime, if you are attending the event live, make sure to head over in front of the stage. We are gathering for another group photo, which is happening very shortly in 1 minute. So gather in front of the stage for that group photo. If you are watching from home, join us back here in 30 minutes or so for our next matchup between Catburger and Okinamo. Thank you all for watching. Congratulations to Malteser, and we'll see you soon.